India's marine products industry has been one of the
major.
I'm talking about the Indian industry from Indian point of view. I've already told you about what the petitioners' view is there. I've already told you what has happened to the Gulf exports. I've also told you what was the reaction of Vietnam, which was the first to protest. Now we are coming to the perspective of the Indian exporters on this issue. India's marine products industry has been one of the major export success stories. From an export base of just rupees 450 million in 1971-72, it increased to rupees 68,810 million in 2002-2003. Shrimp is the mainstay of India's marine product export. That is the main item. You look at it from the Indian point of view. India's main item of exports is shrimp. Why? Because shrimp actually is one of the biggest delicacies in the Western world. Probably not in India, but outside India. But India has got a lot of shrimps because of the coastline, big coastline, and now aquaculture. Japan has traditionally been the biggest export market for India's marine product, not US. The biggest importer is Japan.
Followed by the US.
Followed by US, number 2, and number 3 is China, and several European countries. So India's US is also very important because it is number 2. Number 1 is Japan. They should thank God it was not Japan, it was US. The problem is with US. Although US is also very important because it's number 2, right? And probably that is the reason Vietnam protested. Probably for Vietnam, US must be number 1. That's why they were affected most. For India, India thought that okay, we still have a Japan, we can still export to Japan. So probably they were reacted later, probably.
फिर चाइना तो खुद एक्सपोर्ट करता है अमेरिका को, फिर चाइना इंडिया से क्यों ले रहा है?
नहीं, China is not
Shrimp export.
सिंह तो
China, see, I'll tell you, China probably is not exporting for one reason. China has its own consumption also. Like in India, what is happening? Shrimp, why shrimp is being exported from India? Because there is not much home consumption. But China is a seafood country. They have their own consumption. So whatever the coastline they have, whatever the production is there, it is being consumed in China only. So they probably do not have surplus to be exported, China, rather than importing. So it means whatever is the production of shrimp, there is so much of demand in China that they have to import also. So
यूएस जो सर बैंड लगा है 6 कंट्री में, उसमें
China is not. No.
China is not there.
China is not there. Brazil is there, Vietnam is there, other countries are there, not China. China is not there. So probably China is not exporting. It need not export. Why should it export? It has its own home consumption. Like for example, we don't export our rice because we cannot afford to export rice except the non-basmati rice, because we have our own consumption of rice too so much. But suppose in India everybody is a wheat eater. Everybody is a wheat eater. And there is very less cultures in India who are fond of rice. Like for example, look at the West Bengal or look at the Odisha. Their main staple food is rice. Suppose it was not main, suppose it was all wheat only, then what will happen? India will have a lot of surplus of rice to be exported. Same is happening in shrimp, because shrimp home consumption is not much in India. Shrimp is not an item of eating, not a very big item of eating. So whatever is the production, India can export. But that is not true with China. China may be probably having a bigger production than India, but their consumption is even more. Right? So China is a net importer of shrimps. So it's the third biggest market for India, China. Obviously. Right? So success in India's shrimp export is directly attributable to the development of shrimp culture. Right? The more and more you have better technologies, you have better aquaculture. If you understand the growth of shrimp, If you have understanding, Indian scientists are very good. Agriculture scientists, agriculture scientists. India is well ahead of many countries as far as the science is concerned. Right? So the main success is because of the scientists. They have better methods of producing shrimp. Assisted by Marine Products Export Development Authority, MPDA. Shrimp culture has developed as a major industry in several coastal states. It has created direct employment of about 3 lakh people and indirect employment to over 7 lakh people. These figures are old figures when this case study was made. Today it will be more. Right? So, who are these people? They are not the fishermen. They are the ordinary people, unskilled people. Because in the farms, you don't need very skilled people. Farm is just a technique. Somebody is there to put water and to see that, put medicine, put this, put that. What the scientists have told. So somebody, one person can tell you, bhai ye karna, and somebody will do it. An unskilled person can also do it. There's somebody to watch, right? So many unskilled people are there, which are available, obviously that's available cheap, maybe 200, 300 rupees per day. Their salary will be how much? 200, 250 rupees per day. I don't think it will be more than that, right? But a fisherman will expect something like 3,000, 4,000 rupees per day, 10 times, right? So because of aquaculture, so many people are employed. If the aquaculture was not there, you cannot have so many fishermen. It's not possible. You actually cannot employ fishermen as an employee. They are businessmen. They are small businessmen. Any fisherman in India is a businessman because it's a skilled job. He says that why should I work for anybody? I know I have my own boat. I'll take my boat. I'll catch this and catch that. Right? Why will he work for anybody? Right? The Seafoods Exporters Association of India, SEAI, is the nodal body of the exporters community and is dependent on the MPDA governing council. Now, what is the difference between this SEA and MPDA? MPDA is more a technical organization for development of supply side. Supply side means supply side initiative. Supply side means more availability of shrimp, more availability of, any item which is under MPDA, their job is to strengthen the supply side. But SCA is more into the demand side. Demand side means to generate business from abroad. They represent the exporters, not the producers. So they are two organizations. So basically this industry is managed by two organizations. One is the MPDA, which works on the supply side, and the other industry is SCA, which works on the demand side. After the statements of the Commerce Minister on the possible threat to Indian shrimp exports to the US, these two bodies went into action. When they heard about this, we got some time, just finish. The game plan worked out by MPDA and SCA was comprehensive. It involved approaching the central government, developing contacts with the counterpart bodies in other countries, which might be named in the petition, which means among those 6 countries, Vietnam and all this, right? And putting their house in order to raise resources. Because, if you are fighting the case in US, you need money. Where will the money come? They will not give money from their own budgets, MPDA or SCI. So new money has to be raised, right? And obviously it will be done at the government behest, but money is required, to send notices, to meet those people, to send people to these countries. You need money, right? And that is the problem. The small exporters don't give money. They will say, I can only give you my membership fees. I cannot give you more. So money has to come from somewhere, right? But it's a national issue. So obviously money has to come from somewhere. It put forward 2 major differences between the Indian and US sea caught shrimp and offered reasons why Indian shrimp is cheaper. So first approach was to give an explanation, to make them understand that we are not subsidizing. It's not an unfair competition. It is a competition. Why competition is there? Because our ships are cheaper. Why it is cheaper? Because of this reason. They are trying to take the situation, the problem, to tackle problem this way. First, there are specific variations between the shrimp caught off the southwest coast of US and Indian waters. So that prices are bound to be different. Obviously, the variety is different. Obviously, the price will be different. You cannot say that the wild caught shrimp caught in US and wild caught shrimp caught in India will have the same price. No, not necessarily. The water conditions are different, the climatic conditions are different. Probably in the Indian Ocean, shrimps are lying there. It is very easy to take out. So transaction cost will be cheap. Catching it will be cheap. But in US West Coast, which is always having tornadoes, storms, obviously the price will go up, obviously. Right? Then second, while fishing in the United States is a capital intensive activity calling for major investment, in India, shrimp capture is carried out with a very low level of capital, requiring hardly any investment. Look at the kind of boats used by the fishermen in US and the kind of boats which are used by Indians. In every boat which they have in US, there are GPS systems, wireless systems, then there is a boat control department in US will tell you that weather is becoming bad, please come back and go there. I have seen so many ships are there, you go this side. In India, do you think that any such government facilities available? People are doing on their own. So there is no investment. What people are making their boat on by themselves. In their own village, there is somebody who makes the boat for them. And they know this making of boat from generations. It is available very cheap. What is the investment in India? There is no investment. But there is big investment. So when there is a big investment, there is loans from the bank. So you have to give interest also to the bank. So obviously the price will go up. Right? So capital cost will also be added. In India, there is no capital cost to the whole operations. Obviously it is bound to be cheap. That's why ready-made garment industry is also cheap in India. Because capital investment is not there. It's like a cottage industry. And why handicrafts are cheap in India? Because there is no capital investment in handicrafts. You go to villages and there is the villages, they have their own house. You don't even need a factory for handicraft. You give the material and they will make it, and you give just labor charges, and in the evening they will give it to you. So where is the capital? There is no capital cost, right? So obviously the prices will be less. When the ITC decision on the preliminary affirmative decision came on 17th February 2004, the Indian shrimp industry termed it as discriminatory and unjust. Tharakan of the SCAI said, "We are deeply disappointed and upset by the verdict." It's a reaction, Indian reaction. On receipt of the preliminary decision, Indian exporters who were mobilizing funds said that they would fight the case till the end. You have to give some signal, we are ready to fight, Otherwise, what is happening? Just by the decision of ITC, prices started coming down. International price. Who are affected? The exporters. And ultimately, if exporters are affected, fisherman and the farm producer will be affected. Obviously. The government itself came out with a statement on 18th February 2004 when S.N. Menon, Special Secretary in the Department of Commerce, said, "We will fight it out." So reaction started. Vietnam had already done it. In India, it was late reaction, but it started. While the industry and the SCI as well as the Indian government are fairly confident of the strength of their case, the biggest problem being faced by shrimp exporters is uncertainty caused by the anti-dumping investigation. And due to this uncertainty, the whole industry is already affected. The anti-dumping case has not happened. It is just the ITC decision. Anti-dumping duty has not been imposed. But the prices have already come down because of uncertainty. The price per kilogram of white shrimp,
more than 50%.
rupees 280 few months previously had crashed to rupees 100 in April. Just by decision of ITC. That investigation is happening. And our decision is that there is some problem. So, actually there was a lot of margin. So, if the margin was there is no question of any subsidy. It's not possible.
More than 100.
See, if somebody was earning 20 rupees, he was very happy, making big money. And if the price has come down to 100 rupees, now is it that the government has increased the subsidy? No, it's not possible. So it was a genuine price actually. You know, why the price per kilogram of another variety of prawn had fallen from rupees 80 to rupees 40. Crash, market crashed. Even without any anti-dumping duty. The effect of anti-dumping duty will come. This effect has already come. The market has crashed. The investigation has now moved into the final determination stage. As part of the procedure, DOC officials visited India in August-September 2004 for on-site verification of the information and data submitted by the mandatory respondents during the preliminary phase of the investigation. So they visited. It's not that, see, on paper they are doing everything. They are sending people, yes, we are here, come here, we'll see, okay, this, that. Maybe I wash, but they will do it. You know, US is US. On paper, everything will be okay. Yes, we have investigated. Yes, there is a problem. They are not realizing something which was selling for 20 rupees, the market has crashed to 100 rupees. If that is happening, it's a very clear cut that 280 rupees was a very fair price. If it can further come down, price can further come down, so at least 280 was a very good price. Actually speaking, at a price of 100 rupees, even if you have anti-dumping duty, the price it will still affect US government.
What will happen with the
producer? No, see, even if there is anti-dumping duty, earlier duty was on 280 rupees. Now anti-dumping duty will be on 100 rupees. Prices come down. Even if there is a duty, the actual price will be even lower. So, what the producer are thinking that they can stop Indian export, actually export will go up because prices have come down. 180 rupees was a margin, big margin, which people were enjoying actually, obviously, right? Since August 2004, now this is the aftermath of the investigation. Since August 2004, an anti-dumping duty of 2.51% has been imposed by US on India for exports of frozen warm water ships from India to USA. Khoda baad nikli chuiyan. How much duty they have imposed?
2.5.
Just 2.54. It hardly matters. Something which was selling for 280 rupees has come down to 100 rupees. What is the impact of this anti-dumping duty? 2.5. Why it is so low? Because actually it was a free bolus. This petition was actually a wrong petition. You know. So just to save their nose, they had to put some anti-dumping duty. Instead of saying that we are wrong. Oh yes, there should be anti-dumping duty. And how much it is? 2.5. It's hardly anything. Right? So it was a frivolous petition. Indian shrimp exports were also subjected to enhanced bond requirement, EBR, from August 2004 to March 2009. Now that is another thing. Apart from anti-dumping duty, another condition was required, enhanced bond requirement. So they have to furnish more bond. So that interest cost will increase. So transaction cost will increase. Right? So obviously the price will be more. So Indian response later on, Government of India filed a dispute before the WTO dispute settlement board. So actually Indian government had said that we will fight it till the end. Right? So they went to WTO dispute settlement body on EBR issue, not on the anti-dumping issue. Anti-dumping is 2.54, 2.51, how much? But EBR issue is a big issue. You are creating an anti-tariff barrier, a non-tariff barrier. You are creating through EBR. What you are doing? You are putting non-tariff barrier. Because tariff barrier is hardly 2.51%. It doesn't matter. But you are making another condition, enhanced bond requirement, right? So the government went to WTO in September 2008. Based on the DSB ruling in favor of India. It means Indian response was right. WTO went in favor of India, like Antigua and Barbuda, right? The US customs had done away with the EBR requirement since April 2009. So EBR condition has also been removed because of WTO. So in case of Antigua and Barbuda, US did not budge. But India is not Antigua, Barbuda. India is a big country, you know. India imports also a lot of items. So US has to budge. And WTO is with India. So EBR requirement gone. However, the bond executed between August 2004 to 31st March 2009 were not liquidated. They had to be written back, but they did not return. Right? That was the wrong thing. But whatever it is, but at least EBR is gone. Okay? So it is a victory for India. Okay? So history repeated again now. Now we are now in 2015. Again, what has happened? Coalition of Gulf Shrimp Industries, COGSAI USA, has filed a legal petition on 28/12/2012 for imposition of countervailing duty (CVD) on import of shrimps to USA from 7 countries: China, Thailand, Vietnam, Ecuador, Malaysia, and India. Again, the same story has again started. Because those people have understood that keep on putting these problems, keep on creating problems. So again they are repeating the history, right? So COGSA claims that subsidies provided by governments of these countries to their shrimp industry enables them to sell the shrimps at lower rates in the US market. Same story again. There was 2004. So case was won. Now again they have started this same problem. No. Right? Earlier it was hashtag. Now it is COGSA. In some other name. Now they have created this association. Right? So US Department of Commerce and US International Trade Commission are in the process of investigation. Again investigation has started. So again same episode is being repeated. So what is the meaning of this? That this is the way US works. That keep putting problems for the exporters. People have forgotten now. They had lost the thing. So now they have again started. Now this whole process again started. But now what will happen? It will not be very effective. India will say, they are like that only. They always do like this. Earlier also, in WTO what happened? We won. So now case will be settled very easily. Again, India will go. But what will happen? The industry will be affected. You keep on putting such thing, ITC will keep on doing their job. So industry will be affected. So what is happening? It is bad for the exporters. Right? Again, market will crash. Same thing will happen. So it is like this. So this particular case study, I'm just conclude by saying that the history is repeating itself. Now, same thing what was done in 2003-2004 is again being done in 2012. Earlier it was hashtag, this time it is COGSA. Right? So, no lessons learned by the US people. So they will keep on doing. So that is their way of working. This is how they want to survive. Keep some process going on, and the US government helps them, to make them survive. ITC and all this, they'll keep on investigating. Oh, we'll again invest. As if earlier investigation was all waste. So they will again investigate. Right? So you have understood this case study, I hope. It must be clear. This is how they keep on doing the games. But WTO, one good thing about WTO is that they were in favor of India, and the time frame which is there, dispute settlement, is time bound. It's not that it is going for years. It does not happen. But now what India should do? India already knows what US does. So they should have some mechanism to counter such things. They should be less dependent on US. They should explore more markets. Because these problems are with US only. These problems are not with any other country, Japan. And this time, China is the exporter also. Now this time, there is a new player in this. Earlier China was not there.
Yes, sir.
But this time China is also there. Right? It means China has also learned the aquaculture. It means China is also producing more. It means they also have some surplus for exports. because of aquaculture. So earlier China was not exporter, but today China is also a exporter, right? So now one more person has come to join India's fight, China. Okay, so that was the case. So I'll